Ken Whiting with Paddle TV with yet another unbiased, in-depth gear review. And in this video, we're looking at the Bonafide RS117. Now, Bonafide pretty much stormed onto the scene around 7 years ago and really made a name for themselves with kayaks that were very stable, that paddled very well, and that were really well thought out in terms of a user experience. Now, the RS117 is one of their more recent models. It's a sit-on-top recreational kayak that's designed specifically for kayak fishing. But on the surface, it looks like a great recreational kayak. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to get this baby on the water and take it for a good test paddle. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop talking and start paddling. Oh, before I go, do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up if you end up liking it. But even more importantly, leave a comment down below to let me know what other kayaks you'd like me to test out. And if any of my gear reviews has resulted in a buying decision, please let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, to the water. The Bonafide RS117 has a retail price of $1,099 US. It's 11 feet 7 inches long. It's 33.5 inches wide. It weighs 77 pounds or 35 kilograms. It has a capacity of 425 pounds or 193 kilograms. Its primary use is flat water and fishing. Now, the key features of the Bonafide RS117 are its catamaran hull design and replaceable dual skid plates. On top, it has a rod and paddle stow on either side. It has fat grip handles at the bow and stern and side carry handles. It's got a forward storage well with a transducer scupper for your fish finder electronics. It's got foot braces. It's got a dry pod. It has Yak Attack Mighty Mount tracks, traction pads for standing. It's got a high-low extra wide framed seat, 2 flush mount rod holders, a large crate-friendly tank well, a stern access plate for hull access, and it's rudder ready, meaning you can install a rudder without drilling any holes. All right, so I've had well over an hour to paddle this thing around. This is what I can tell you about the Bonafide RS117. I really like this kayak. This is a very nice kayak. That being said, it does have its flaws and it's not my favorite kayak. Let's break it down and explain why I really like this, but I think it could be improved. And we'll start, like I always do, we'll go through stability, performance, comfort, and features. And let's start with stability. This is one of the reasons I really like this kayak. As a recreational kayak, as a fishing kayak, this is one of the most stable platforms you could ask for. This catamaran style hull that it's got, it's incredible. Now, it doesn't necessarily have like the best initial or primary stability. That's when it's sitting flat. Although don't get me wrong, it's super stable when you're sitting flat, but it does have a little bit of rock back and forth. But what's really neat is once you're rocking, you hit a point where you get rejected. No, you're not flipping, and it bounces you right back up. It's secondary stability, that stability on edge, is just out of control. I mean, you can lean right out over the side with this boat on a slight edge and feel totally confident. Incredible. In fact, when you're standing up in this thing, which is very easy to do, it's almost a little bit easier to stand with your weight on one leg because it likes to sit slightly on edge and hold that position. Now, performance. Do you give up some speed for stability, which is traditional? Well, absolutely. You know, even with this catamaran style hull, this is not going to win any races. It's not the slowest boat around by any means, but it's definitely not a fast boat. When I tried paddling it aggressively, I wasn't getting the kind of speed out of this thing that I would want for the output I was giving. Not a fast boat, but you know, you don't get this thing for the speed. It's not the slowest boat either. Now, comfort. Big, wide open, sit on top platform. I mean, it's comfortable, 100% comfortable. That being said, with the previous Bonafide kayak, the one drawback I had of the EX123 that I tried was the seat. And the same goes for this seat. It's basically the same seat. It's nice and wide. I wanted to love it, but it just doesn't, it's not that comfortable for me, for my butt. It provides actually very nice lower back, lumbar support, if that's what you're interested in. But it really seems to be designed for relaxing, for sitting back and fishing versus active paddling. In fact, there's a pretty big gap behind your butt where when you're active paddling, it's almost too high. But if you're fishing and you're chilling and lying back, then wow, it is definitely comfortable. So yes, it's comfortable for fishing when you're not paddling. For paddling, it could definitely be more comfortable. Features. This thing, for kind of an entry-level fishing kayak, is feature-rich. It's got everything you need, from the front compartment there with this transducer scupper. This dry pot is cool. I wouldn't put anything in there. If I expect it to flip, don't expect it to say bone dry. I haven't tested that yet, and I'm not going to in this video. I'm not flipping for you. The gear tracks are positioned great. You got one on each side, plus one in the middle here for whatever you want to mount. Solid foot pegs. You know, there's lots of great features to this kayak, and they're really well thought out, and that's what their Bonafide is known for. So in summary, as a fishing kayak, I think it's a wonderful fishing kayak, especially a wonderful, maybe not an entry level. This is a fishing kayak that is really well priced at $1,100 US, that you would never really feel the need to upgrade because it's got everything you pretty much need until you get it to a really high level and you want very specific things. As a recreational kayak, it's also a great platform. The seat isn't wonderful for paddling, but otherwise great stability, not the fastest, just a nice though all-round recreational kayak. The last thing I'll mention though is sizing. I'm 6'2", 195 pounds. Now weight is no issue whatsoever, but length is. The seat is in the low position right now, and the foot pegs are as far as they can go. And my knees are, for me, they're too flexed. I would like an extra inch of legroom out of this thing. There isn't any more to give. It's a relatively small cockpit. Now, when I have the seat in the high position, that moves the seat back about 2 inches. All of a sudden, I'm very comfortable. It feels much better to me. So I would say anybody 6'1" or under, this is good for. Taller than that, don't bother. It's too small for you. Now, one more thing to mention, the paddle that I'm using. I'm using a 240 centimeter paddle, which was pretty much perfect for me for this kayak. That's typically what I like to use for sit on top kayaks. You're high, you need the extra length to get to the water. 240 works well for me. The model I'm using is the AQUA Whiskey fiberglass. Now, this is a full carbon paddle with fiberglass blades. I love this paddle, and I've been using it for a long time, even though you probably won't recognize it because it's got a whole new colorway. This is their new Northern Lights color. But what I love about this paddle is it's got almost all the performance characteristics of a full carbon paddle, but it's, you know, $150 to $200 cheaper than a full carbon paddle. This one retails at $315. So it's a kind of paddle that I'm really comfortable recommending to anybody who wants a high performance paddle at a good price, but still a premium price, because it comes very close to the characteristics of a full carbon paddle. That's all I gotta say for this gear review. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you again soon for another paddling tip, gear review, paddling adventure, anything paddling, it's coming your way.